Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I am just finishing setting up some stuff real quick. I have setting up, I got a funny message on my machine, but I think we're good now. If you can see me live, if you're here joining me, please leave me a message in the comments. Comment for me and let me know that you're here and that you can hear me. I'm just checking YouTube really quick to see if it is live. Yep, it looks like it is there. Sorry, let me go check Facebook real quick. If it's your first time here, if you've never joined me before, my name is Jana Edwards. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Jana Edwards. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I go live twice a week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and typically Thursdays at 3 p.m. and do a live card class where we create two projects out of using a product of the week. I choose a product of the week and create 4 projects, and I demonstrate I'll show you how to create 2 of them on Tuesday, 2 of them on Thursday. Then I combine the 4 and offer them in a class kit to go when you purchase $50 in my online store during the week before Friday, the end of the day Friday. I send you that class kit free as a thank you for your purchase. You can also purchase the standalone kit. So maybe you already have the product that we're using for this week and you would like just the kit, you can purchase that kit. There's a link in the description of the video to do that. The standalone kit is $30 and the kit looks like this. It comes in an envelope with instructions and a QR code for you to download the PDF tutorial. The PDF has links back to all the videos. But it comes with envelopes and all of the cardstock and pre-cut pieces that you need to create the projects for the week, the class kit, the class projects that we create during the week. And the only thing is no stamped images are included. It's against Stampin' Up! Policy for demonstrators to send pre-stamped images. So if it's anything that has to do with the bundle, die cuts, or stamped images from the bundle that we're using that week or the product that we're using that week, this week we're using Pop-Up Petals. So if it's a die cut if it is a die, wrong one. Okay, if it's a die cut from the dies, that will not be included. And if it's a stamped image from the stamp, that will not be included either. So if you already have this bundle, you can purchase the standalone kit by clicking the link for $30 or place a $50 order in my online store before the end of the day today, and I'll send you the kit as a free thank you. Okay? All right, let me see. Today we're also using a die cut, a couple of labels from the Beautifully Celebrated dies, but these will be in the class kit, okay? So those are included in the kit. Let me see. I'm gonna turn my camera down. I want to, hold on just a second. I'm gonna check something real quick. I want to share this to my Facebook group. I want to share my live to my Facebook group so that they can see it there. So if you're not part of my Facebook group already, there is a Facebook group called Stampin' Ink Crew. You can go join that Facebook group. We do sketch challenges once a week, and I'd love for you to participate in those with us. Okay, let me go here. I am going to do this. And also Facebook only has, they only keep the live videos for 30 days. So if you want to go back and rewatch the videos, you can watch them on my YouTube channel, which is Stamped in Ink with Jana, or you can do YouTube/Stamped in Ink and it should bring me up, okay? And like I said, my name is Jana Edwards and I am in, oh, you don't want to see that, do you? Not my hands yet. My name is Jana Edwards and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Corpus Christi, Texas, okay? If you're here, please leave me a comment. Hopefully you're on your lunch break and you're able to join me today. I'm going to go ahead and turn my hands down. I'm going to turn my desktop down to my hands. There we go. And I'm going to show you, today we are using the Brush with Beauty Designer Series paper. It's so pretty. I'm actually currently designing a class around this, and I'm going to put information out about the class. I'm going to open it up for registration. Maybe I might send it out tomorrow or Sunday to my email newsletter subscribers. So if you want to get information about that class that I'm offering using this designer series paper and these products here, it's going to be a mega class. So you'll create 10 projects, and we're going to be using the Brush with Beauty suite of products. So the suite is actually 2 bundles. It's the Petals of Beauty and stamp and dies, and then it's the Words of Beauty stamp and dies. Now, really, if you already have a sentiment set, you can just use this bundle here and use whatever sentiment you have, but I have this sentiment set, so I'm going to design, I'm working on designing with this suite of products. But this is the paper that we're going to be using today. It is the Brush with Beauty Designer Series paper, and I just thought I would show you this really quick. Hang on just a second. I'm trying to remove technical difficulties. Hold, please. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. So this is the designer series paper, and it is double-sided. There are 6, you get 12 sheets. So you get 2 of each sheet, and this is one side, and then this is the other side, okay? So it's the front and back, right? So this will be the front side, the floral print, and this is a really pretty, it looks like almost like if you put plaster on the wall and you cover it in just different colors of paint. It's really pretty. Okay, so that's one of the sheets, and then this is the other one, front and back. Isn't that pretty? And another one is front and back here, and front and back, front and back, A side, B side, whatever you would like to call it. And then this one, I've used 3 sheets of this paper already. So this is it. This is all I have right now, is just the one front and back of this sheet. It's a beautiful paper. It's Calypso Coral, Pretty Peacock, Petal Pink, Lost Lagoon. What are the other colors? Secret Sea, Mossy Meadow, Darling Duckling, and Very Vanilla. Really pretty colors. Okay, so today we are going to create these really cute cards here, and we're going to create these pop-up mechanisms in the center. And this is a bookbinding card with a pop-up mechanism in the center, and then this really cute card here, like this. In the kit for this week, you'll receive all of the designer series paper already pre-cut for you. You'll receive the label, and then you'll receive this insert here, but it will not have this die cut pop out for you. So what you could do is take and cut this in half, and you would have an extra piece of very, very vanilla cardstock left, and just line your card. And the same with this. This piece is 4 1/8 by 11, I think. And so you could cut it in half too, but it's in there. It just won't have that pop out mechanism. It won't have the pop out cut for you, because that is part of the dies for the Pop-Up Petals Bundle. You also have a piece of, in your kit, there are 1 piece of white cardstock for you to do your stamping. Okay, so let's go ahead, and we're going to start with this card here. So like I said, we have in your kit, this is what you will have in your kit. You'll have these, and then you'll have a piece of white cardstock. So in the kit for this week, we're going to start with a piece of crumb cake cardstock as our base. And then we have a piece of the designer series paper that we're going to layer here and here like so. Then we will stamp our sentiment on the label and put it this way. You could do it this way if you wanted. I just chose to do it this way. All right, and then we have our piece of very vanilla cardstock that is, I believe it's a 4 1/4 by 10 1/2, scored at 5 1/4. Okay, so what I want to do is first we're going to do some stamping and coloring. So I'm going to set this aside. Here's our sample here. I'm going to set these aside and grab my piece of white cardstock, and we're going to do some stamping and coloring. I want the vase with the bottleneck, the outline image for the sunflowers, the filler image for the sunflowers. It's getting a little crowded over here. Then I need, let's see, what's on the inside? I forget. Then I need the smaller floral image, the single flower. And this is the filler image for the inside of the snowflakes. Inside of the sunflowers. And I need the other little vase here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my piercing mat and a piece of scrap paper. There is something on this piece of white cardstock, so I'm just going to see if I can erase that real quick. It's not coming off. Okay, I'll just turn it over. That'll work. So then I need, set that up there. I need my Lost Lagoon. I'm going to go ahead and grab Lost Lagoon and stamp my, grab my Lost Lagoon, and we're going to stamp this vase with the bottle, with the neck. I call it the bottleneck vase. All right, then I want the polka dotted vase. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up and stamp that right up here at the top. Put that away. Then I forgot to bring my Memento ink over here with me. So I'm going to grab it real quick and come back. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and use the Memento black ink to stamp the outline of our sunflowers. Then I need 3 of the little flowers. There is a cat in here with me clawing at the rug, so if you guys hear that, I apologize. So we're going to stamp those 3. Grab the lid to this. If anybody's here with me today, please leave me a comment and let me know that you're watching. I would love to chit chat with you. I know it's Friday, and in some places it is spring break. A lot of other demonstrators are off at On Stage, which is Stampin' Up's big convention that they do every year for all demonstrators. And so I'm very jealous that I went to sign up and it was already closed. Registration was closed. So I missed it this year, but that's okay because I get to be here with you stamping, right? And working on classes for the next couple of months. So I've got a lot of exciting things planned and I can't wait. Okay, I need my crumb cake. I forgot that one too. So there's that. I'm going to use crumb cake and petal pink for the, I'm trying to keep this all in view so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, what am I looking for? Crumb cake and petal pink. Nope, that's Lost Lagoon, Jana. I need petal pink, which is right here. I think if I move my camera out just a little bit, hold on just a second, hang on. Let me do this. If I do, sorry y'all, let's see if I do this. Will it move it out? Okay, that's a little better. You can see a little more. What's the matter, buddy? Now I have a cat clawing at me. Okay, so I'm going to use the petal pink to color in the inside of my sunflowers. And for this one, this sunflower here, the circle on the sunflower is a little more oval shaped, and the one on the right, the inside is a little more round. So if you look at the stamp, I don't know if you can see, but this side here on the inside of this image here is a little more round, and this image is a little more oval. That's how I tell how to position my filler image. And then I just kind of make sure that all of my petals are lined up inside the outline and just stamp down. Sometimes it's perfect, sometimes it's not, which is okay because it's a handmade card, right? So now I'm using crumb cake and I'm going to stamp off. I'm going to make sure it's inked up and I'm going to stamp off. And then the same thing I'll show you on this one. The same thing on this. You can see that this little circle here is a little more oval shaped and this one is a little more round. So that's how I know where to position it on the inside of the outline image. And it didn't work very well, Jana. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to tell you guys this. I don't know if you've heard me talk about it before, but I have a prosthetic cornea in my right eye. So my depth perception is a little off. It's a little wonky some days. And when I look at things, I can't, it's hard to line them up sometimes. So I do the best that I can. All right, let's try this again on this one. If I get my head right over it, there we go. That's much better. Okay, now I'm going to do the filler image again on this one. And I have it positioned right. And the first time it was just about perfect, so we'll shoot for that this time. There we go. Good. Hey Buff, how are you today? It's nice to see you. We're using the same Pop-Up Petals Bundle that we used on Tuesday. So we're doing this card right here. I don't know if you saw it or not, but we're making this card first right here. Super cute. Okay, so there's that. Now I want my filler image for the little flower. And to do this one, what I did was I went full strength Calypso Coral on one flower, and then I stamped off and went second, they call it second, well, whatever, second strength. I stamped off and then stamped the other two just to make it a little lighter. Thank you. We're also going to make this one. It's a bookbinding card. So you basically glue down a small section of the edge of the card, and it's this right here. So cute. I've enjoyed playing with this set. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take this is a blending brush. It's the medium the medium blending brushes. It's medium 600 is what it's called. I'm going to just age this vase. We did this on Tuesday and I just really like the way that it looks. I'm going to make it look just a little old. I'm going to use my other tip. Get better brush strokes that way, I think. So I'm just giving it a little color. Then I'm going to come over here and just do the edge there. Okay, now I want my, well, I thought I had everything today. I want my light Old Olive, and I'm going to color all of the leaves, all of the stems and leaves for the flowers. There isn't a filler image in this set for these. Now there's a rose image that we'll use on the next project. There's a rose image that there is a filler stamp for that stem and leaves, but there aren't for this. So I'm just taking a Stampin' Blend and just coloring them in really quick. Just all one level of color. I'm not using my dark blend to give it any extra depth. I just think the images are too small to add that. I tried it using the dark one, and when I tried, it just turned everything dark. The lines aren't thin enough on the marker to make those slight little changes. So I think it looks good. And I woke up with a cold this morning. All right, so now that we have all of those done, we are going to take them and I would cut them apart from the paper, especially this one here. I want to take this one and I want to add some, what do we call it? Flicking. I want to flick some ink on it just to give it a little more depth. And I'm using my pecan pie to do that. So then I would take and cut all of these apart, separate them, so that way I can line them up on my die cutting machine. There is only one flower die for this little flower, so you'd have to run it through your machine 3 different times. Okay, I'm going to throw that away. So I would take the dies from the set and put them on my machine. I'll just show you real quick. I have them already done, but you just line up your die with your flowers onto your plate like this, and I'd try to get as many on here as I could. So I would do this here, then I would take one of the flowers and I would take this, because I don't think I could get another one on there. I would take the flower, line it up, and then the bottle, the vase, and line it up, and then crank it through my machine. Okay. What I am going to do is we're going to take the cardstock that I have and we're going to run it through our machine to make the pop-up mechanism for the card. Okay, so I have all these done. Just pretend we have them all die cut, because I do. They're all right here. I think they are. Nope, these are in my bag. They are right here. So I have them all die cut here. I'm going to just dump them out. Right there. I have all my images cut out already. This is for the other card. So I actually need my big machine, my Big Boss machine, to do this. And I'm going to stand up so I can see it better. I'll move my face out of frame. And I'm going to move that out of frame. There we go. Now, what you'll want to do for this is we want to take this piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. Okay, and we want to take our plates. You want your number 1, number 2, and then you want your bottom plate number 3 and top plate number 3. Okay, we want to take our card and line it up. Which one? I used the smaller one. So there is a longer die here and a shorter die that cuts out that mechanism. Now, if you want to use the 2 side pieces for the box, you need to use the bigger one, the longer one. The short one is what we're going to use because we're not using the 2 little cover pieces for the box. And I want to line it up right in the middle because remember, this is going to be a portrait card and not it's portrait, not landscape, right? So it's opening this way. So we want to make sure that it's right in the center. So when you open the card, it's right in the middle. So I want to center that. I'm eyeballing it to make sure it's right in the middle of my card. I'm going to grab some Post-it note tape. Just hold it in place. I'm lining, there are two little points here on each side of the die. You want to line those up with your score line, right in the middle of your score line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just hold that down. I'm going to put my top plate on and run it through my machine. I'm only going to go a little way. Like I'm only going to go partially. I'm only going to go to here and then I'll roll it back through because I have found that when you roll it all the way through, you see how the paper's hanging off the edge of my plate here. If you roll it all the way through, you're going to leave a big crease on your cardstock and you don't want to do that. So that's just a tip for you. And my plates get dirty. If you have a Big Shot machine or any kind of die cutting machine, do your plates get dirty? And then when you run it through, it leaves kind of stuff on your image that you're cutting out. And sometimes the Post-it note tape leaves a little residue too. So I like to keep my adhesive eraser handy because you can erase all of that from your cardstock. And I just got this, it's an adhesive eraser. I just got it off of Amazon. So now when you fold your card, you want this section to pop out towards you. So you want to make sure that when you're folding it, you're pushing on the back side with your finger so that your 2 score lines come forward and then this one pops out. So I just kind of fold it like this first, and then when I close it this way, I pull it towards me and then just close it again and make sure that all the lines match up. Take my bone folder and give it a good crease. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take and go ahead and build our little I didn't die cut that. Did I not die cut the large? I didn't. I'm going to have to die cut the larger. Oh, no, there it is right there. I thought I lost it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and build our 2 vases. I want my sunflowers are going to go in the one with the neck. And then I have the 3 flowers. I think I added yellow. I took one from a set that I had already cut. And so it's yellow, but it'll be okay. All right, so I want to add just a little bit of glue to the front of these petals here. You could use glue dots too if you wanted. I just like to use the liquid adhesive for stuff like this. And if you let it sit for a little while, it becomes tacky and it's not so runny. I guess, would that be the word for it? Liquid, it turns more tacky than liquid. So when you push it, when you push it down onto your, when you adhere it to your other images, your other die cuts, it doesn't ooze out of the bottom. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. I'm going to set that aside real quick. I'm going to grab my card base. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to the inside. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your opening is to the right. So I'm going to flip this over. Now that my opening's to the right, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to add adhesive to the back side of this. I guess it wouldn't matter which side you put it on because it's opening in the middle, but you just want to make sure that your card opens to the right or to the bottom, whichever way you're positioning yours to glue it down. Just make sure that it's the right way. Or does it really matter? Because if you glued this side down first, would it matter? Probably not. I'm just right-handed, so you could glue it down this way too if you wanted to. But so I'm going to line the crease up with my score line and make sure that it is just giving me enough border around each, an even kind of border around each side. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Then I'm going to add some adhesive to this other side, making sure not to get any adhesive there in that opening on that crumb cake piece because you don't want your card to stick together when you close it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my card and I'm going to just close it. Give that a minute to set. And then your card will open like so. Cute, right? Okay, now I'm going to take your pick tool. I'm going to pick up my flowers and I'm going to turn my vase over and I want to put my flowers like this, and then I'm going to add one more right there. Almost got that stuck on my finger. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Then I'm going to do the sunflowers the same way. I'm just going to hold it in place and I want my stems to show just a tad. Okay. So I'm going to let those dry. I'm going to set those to the side and let those dry. And let's go ahead and we will put our card front, everything on our card front. So this piece of designer series paper is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to add some adhesive to this and glue it down. Move it around if you need to. Then this piece is 2 inches by 4 inches. And we'll add some adhesive to this and we're going to glue that down too. Just I'm going more towards the bottom. I'm leaving a little more of the flower designer series paper showing at the top than at the bottom. Gonna line that up just like that. And then I want to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals, which are right here. Actually, let's stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to grab, here it is, it's right here. We're going to stamp our sentiment using Early Espresso. on our label. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to take my label and position it like this. Our sentiment says, grateful for your friendship. So I'm going to grab it here. And what I did was I took my image here, my flowers that were put together, and I kind of laid them how I wanted them on the label to make sure I would have enough room. And then I positioned my sentiment on my label and went ahead and stamped it using early espresso ink. I typically like to stamp off just to make sure I'm getting enough ink on my stamp. This ink pad is so tacky, like, there we go, that's better. Okay, so we're gonna add that right here. That is a little crooked, but I'm okay with it being crooked. I love this paper, Buffy. Did you get to see it at the beginning when I did the, like, look at it. It's so pretty. It's just beautiful. I'm designing another class with it too. So I'll send out an email about the class probably next week. It's going to be a mega class. You'll do like 10 cards with it, 10 projects. It'll be nice. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to add my dimensionals to the back of our label here. I'm going to add 2, 3, left or right and left, top and bottom, and then 1 right in the middle. Then I want to take the backings off, and we're going to put this down on we're going to stick it down on our card front. Okay, like this. I'm going to add some dimensionals to our finished vase here. I want to use a mini dimensional, and I'm going to put it right where the vase and the flowers come together, just for a little more security. Okay, we'll take those backings off and put this down on our label. I'm going to add it right about there. Okay, now that this has had time to dry, I'm going to use a, when you pop these up on the inside, it's good to just use liquid glue, because when you go to close it, if there's a dimensional on the back of this image, it's going to cause your card to not close all the way. Oh, okay. Well, if you want to see the paper, I mean, I just kind of thumbed through, but you can always go back to the front or to the beginning later and look at it, but it's so pretty. It's just a really pretty paper. It's called Brushed with Beauty is what it's called. Okay, I'm going to use some Seal Plus, because I'm going to use Seal Plus on the back of the little vase that goes on the inside of the card, because I don't want to use liquid adhesive because I don't want it oozing everywhere. So I'm just going to use some Seal Plus, and I'm only putting it on the lower part of the vase underneath where the flowers meet. And we're going to stick that down, leaving just a little bit of room, you know, a little gap at the bottom, so it's not touching the card, the bottom of the card all the way, so it doesn't drag when it closes. And then we'll just adhere that to that folding mechanism, so when your card opens, it pops up like that. All right, now I need some linen thread, and I think I ran out, so I'm gonna have to grab a new one. And I know I have some, and I think Stampin' Up is, it's out of stock right now. I try to keep some in stock here all the time. But I think with our last class, I had to order a bunch to send with our class, and I think I might have gone through all mine. Okay. I'm gonna add, let's see. There we go. Now I can see you guys again. I can see everybody again. Okay. Let's see if I can get this. Sometimes these are hard to start because they don't give you a good well, and I don't want to just, there it is. Maybe? Yep, right there. All right, so we're going to double it over and do a double bow, of course. Linen thread is like my favorite. I love Stampin' Up's other ribbons, but the linen thread, I don't know. I really just like it. I use it a lot, probably on almost every project. So I'm doubling it over, and I'm just going to pull it and get it the size that I want it, and then I'm going to snip my ends here. If anyone is interested in what is going on with okay, I don't like how that turned out, so I'm going to try again. With Onstage, you can do, I think it's hashtag onstage2026, and it will pull up a bunch of posts that demonstrators are putting out there about all the things on stage. Like there's lots of product sneak peeks with our new catalogs. They're putting out some product sneak peeks for the new catalogs, the new ink pads. I think they did a demo with the new ink pads. There's just lots of things coming up. There's some stuff that I've seen that I can't wait. And I don't know if I have mentioned to you, but Stampin' Up is they're discontinuing the annual catalog. I like having the annual catalog, but I think Stampin' Up, they offer so much new product between our 2 mini catalogs that we already have, plus all of our online exclusives that come out every other month or every 2 months, something like that. It's like the annual catalog is there, and it's great because you have it, but it's once you go through the product and something new comes out, you kind of just move away from it, and you're continuously going through all the new stuff, right? So they're going to go to 3 mini catalogs a month. So basically we'll have a spring, summer, fall, which is your fall and holiday, right? So we'll have May through August, September through January, which is basically what we do now, and then January through May 1st, which is, we already have those 2 catalogs, so they're just putting one in the middle to take place of where the annual catalog would actually come through, which makes complete sense. Okay, so there's this card. Oh, no, wait, hold on. I have a butterfly. I want to add a butterfly to this one. I have a butterfly. We're going to use a little mini glue dot and add a butterfly, and then we're going to add some embellishments, and then I'll stop talking so much and get on to the second project, because we've been on here almost an hour already, and I try to keep our lives less than an hour, and that hasn't happened the last 2 times because I keep jibber jabbering. One of my best friends, we used to work together, and she says I talk a lot. I don't think I talk a lot, but she says I talk a lot, so she started calling me Jibber Jabber Jana. And it kind of stuck, and now all the time I just say I just jibber jabber. But yeah, she calls me Jibber Jabber Jana because she says I talk a lot. Okay, we're gonna add our little butterfly there. Then I'm gonna grab our, these are the Pearls of Beauty, and these come in the Brushed with Beauty suite, and you'll also get a pack of these in the class that I'll be offering. And I love them because it's crumb cake, calypso coral, and then you have just a basic pearl white, which is great. So we're gonna use the crumb cake ones. Okay, and I'm gonna do a large one and a small one, and then I'm going to do another big one right down here on our label. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see. So there's our first card right here. Super cute. Who wouldn't love to receive one of those, right? Okay, now we're going to move on to this card here, and I've already pre-stamped and everything. So basically what we'll do is we will cut the mechanism, we'll do our two sentiments, and then it'll go quick. It'll go quick, I promise. So basically we stamped the rose, the outline, filled it in just like we did on Tuesday, and then the same thing for the inside, just like we did. And I have all of the pieces are right here. So you would need one light colored rose for the inside. We'll need a darker rose, and then I have the 3 flowers. And for the inside of this one, I did Lost Lagoon and Old Olive, and then the Darling Duckling, and did the stamp off technique, I did the stamp off technique to get this color on this flower in Calypso Coral, just like we did with the other colors, the other flowers just a minute ago. All right, so what I've done is we have our card base that is, what size is this one? 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. So I put it in my score, Simply Scored, and I scored it at 5 1/2, and then again at 6 3/4 to give us this book binding. Okay, this one you're going to fold in like you normally would, and then you'll fold out on that 6 3/4 line. Okay, we have 3 pieces of Designer Series paper, which will come in your kit for this week. We have a 4 by 4 piece that's going to go here on this side on the front. Then we have a 3 by 4 piece of the striped, and then we have a 1 by 4 for the edge. Then we have the inside of the card and our label. Now remember, your kit will not have this mechanism. It won't have the cutout. It'll just be a solid piece of vanilla cardstock. Okay. Then I used the die in the set to cut out the 2 pieces. So I used, where's it at? Where's my die set? Hold on. Where? Well, where did they go? Here they are. Okay. So I used the larger of the 2 dies and set it down inside the card just like before, but I put it a little towards the bottom of the inside and die cut that. Okay, so that's what I used. Then I used this die here to cut these 2 pieces out of crumb cake cardstock. Okay, and those are going to be the inside flaps of our box. It makes the die look like a box to me. Like, you know, when you unfold a box, it has the flaps on it like this. All right, let me put these away and we'll start building our card. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take and I'm going to add some adhesive, and we're going to let our adhesive dry just a little bit, okay, because I'm going to use liquid adhesive. So I'm going to take these 2 pieces, these little pieces. When you die cut it, it has a score line in the middle, okay? So I'm going to fold on that score line, and I'm just going to give it a good crease. I'm just going to use my fingernails, but you could use a bone folder if, you know, you don't have longer fingernails. So I'm folding on this score line. Then I'm going to open it up to the inside, and I'm going to add just a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm going to use just a little something here to hold it, just a little like picky tool. I'm going to add just some glue inside, and then we'll let that dry a little bit and get tacky. So when we squish it down inside the card, it won't go all over the place. Okay, I'm going to add, yeah, because that's going inside the box. I'm going to add some glue here to our flowers. And like I said, we'll just let these dry as well. The darker rose, I'm not going to add any adhesive to the stem because it's going to go on the outside of the card, and we're going to pop it up on the outside of the card with dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and just have that drying off to the side, okay? Now, I want to grab my card, and I'm going to go ahead and glue all of our pieces down, okay? So let's grab our glue. We're going to glue this 1 by 4 inch strip to the edge here. I think I want it to go this way. Leaving that even border on each side. Now we're going to go to this petal pink piece of designer series paper. And we're going to put that one there, and then our stripes. Add some ink to there. I woke up with the worst cold this morning too. So we're going to add this right here. Not going all the way to the bottom, but leaving, you know, maybe like a 1/2 inch of a gap on the bottom. Okay. I'm going to move this here. And now I want to add some adhesive here, and I'm going to use tearing tape so I'm going to add tearing tape to the end, to this score line here, this 3/4 inch or 1.5 inches, whatever it is. I'm going to use tearing tape because I don't want to squish it. Actually, maybe not tearing tape. Let's just use some Seal Plus since I already have it out. So we're going to add some Seal Plus to this little, because if you put too much liquid glue, when you close it down, it could gush out the sides, and I don't want to risk that happening. So I just like to use either tearing tape, Seal Plus. You could use regular Seal too. I just use the Seal Plus because it was already here. But then you want to make sure that that is down. Okay, now we're going to open that up. And what you want to do is, this cardstock is cut at, I forget how big this is. It's not quite the normal size. It's like 10.5 inches, I think. I'll have the measurements. I'll send the measurements for this one in our Freebie Friday for this week. How does that sound? So I'm going to add some adhesive to the inside piece. Oh, make sure that it's the correct way too. You want to have more space at the top than at the bottom. So I'm lining it up as close as I can to that crease, but I don't want it to touch, because you want to be able to open it. You want to be able to open your card without it pulling. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add some adhesive to this side. And then close our card up like so. This is so cute. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and take my tweezers to pick these up. And I'm going to just lay these over our box like this and just push it down. And since we have let this liquid glue turn tacky, see how it starts to turn clear? Like this is white where it's still really wet, and then it turns clear and just becomes real tacky, and it doesn't, you know, go all over the place. So I'm just lining that crease up with that, I'm pushing the edge up into that crease. Okay, now I want to take my little yellow flower and I'm going to layer that right on the inside to the left. And then I'm going to take my big rose and I'm going to attach that one right there. I'm going to take the two little ones, the two little flowers, and put them on the inside here. And since it's tacky, it should close, you know, it should adhere pretty quick. It should stick down pretty quick. And give that just a minute. And then when you open your card, you have that those cute little flowers on the inside. All right, so let's go ahead and finish our label here. We're gonna, let me get all this glue off of my adhesive mat. I'm gonna use the Grateful for Your Friendship again. You could use any of the other ones, any of the other sentiments if you wanted to. And I've lost my, what did I do? There it is, it's right here. I couldn't find my early espresso ink pad. Okay, let's see. It's a little hard to open. All right, so I want to go ahead and put my flower down so I can gauge where I want to measure where I'm going to put my sentiment at. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, and I'm going to put my sentiment right about there. What I also did on the inside of the card, I think I stamped the other sentiment that says, "You get me and I appreciate that." So I'm going to go ahead and remount this because it's a little crooked. I'm going to use the line on my desk here to make sure that it's straight. Pick it back up again, and we'll go ahead and we're going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp, I want to stamp it right here, like so. Cute. Okay, close this up. I will be so happy when the new ink pads come out. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for those. All right, so I want to take some dimensionals and put on the back of this. I want right, left, bottom. Actually, it looks like the top, doesn't it? I'm going to cut these apart. Don't neglect your edges. Don't forget to use your edges. And one right in the middle. And Mylan's home. My hubby's home. Hey, babe. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to take the backings off of this now and stick this down to the middle of this edge here. Then I want to add some dimensionals to this rose, and I cut these here. So we're going to go one right there in the middle and then one right here. I think I can make it fit right there on the stem. Yep. Perfect. Add the rose. Here, and we're going to just do our double bow again. Tie that. I really wanted the pink. They had some pink braided, petal pink braided trim that was on clearance or on last chance. We don't say clearance anymore. It's last chance, and it's gone. It's gone. They discontinued it and it's not available anymore. So I missed that, but it's okay. All right. We're going to grab a glue dot. Glue dot. If I was a glue dot, where would I be? This is what happens when I don't put stuff back where it belongs. I lost my glue dots. Like, for real. I don't know where they went. All right. Well, I'll just grab these over here. I'll find them once I start cleaning up. I'll find them again. All right. Hold on, I'm on video, babe. Hi. No, you're okay. All right. We're going to add our bow right. I think I'm going to do it. I kind of put it in the center on this one. So I think I'll put it about the same spot. It just covers up the sentiment right there. So I'll kind of angle it a little bit better. All right. Now I didn't put any embellishments on my sample, but I'm going to add some embellishments to this one, and I'm going to use the Calypso Coral color because I really like those. I like the color of them. All right. So don't forget, if you don't have the in colors, or if you do have the in colors, the current in colors, Petunia Pop, Shy Shamrock, and what are they? Petunia Pop, Shy Shamrock, Strawberry Slush. I'll tell them you said hi, Buffy. Let's see. Let me remember. Petunia Pop, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Summer Splash, and Shy Shamrock. If you have those ink pads, or if you like the colors, make sure you go ahead and stock up now, because when the new catalog comes out in May, they're going to discontinue them. So make sure you get your ink refills and everything that you need for those. Otherwise, they're going to be gone. Okay. I just want to remind you of that. All right, there we go. Here's our second card today. If you would like the card kit for the 4 cards this week, just place a $50 order in my online store, and I'll send you the card kit for free. Or you can order just the card kit you can just do a standalone kit for $30, and I'll send you everything that you need to make the 4 cards for this week. These are the 2 we created on Tuesday. Okay, and then these are the 2 we created today. So you get everything that you need to create the 4 cards for this week. I'll send it to you free with your $50 order, or you can purchase it standalone for yeah, they're great, right? The little glue dots, Buffy. I like those too. You can purchase the standalone kit for $30. I am going to be I'm going to open registration for my Brush with Beauty mega class. Probably maybe sometime this weekend. It might not be till Monday, but I'll send an email out about that. So if you are interested in that, please, if you're not already signed up for my email, sign up for my email, and I'll send out information about that. I'm also going to do a club create. I'm going to start I'm not ready to launch it yet, but I am going to launch a Club Create, which is a subscription club. And I think my first class is going to be with the Hobby Haven or Creative Haven suite of products. I have I have all the products and I haven't used them. So I want to do a class before they discontinue it or, put it on the last chance list. So that's going to be my first Club Create is the Hobby Haven. And then I'm also going to do a mega class with a Brush with Beauty. Look for that next week. I'll be sending out emails about those. If you're interested, sign up for my email newsletter list because my newsletter subscribers hear about all of my classes first. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you chit-chatting with me, Buffy. I always look forward to our classes and when I get to talk to you. Anyway, if you have any questions, please send me a message. You can leave a message in the comments. I read all of the comments. But thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week, okay? Bye-bye. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Okay? We'll see ya. Bye.